Hey guys, it's Vanessa and I am trying out a new recipe today, and I thought it might be one that you'd like to see how easy it is. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because I have not made this yet, but it is packed full of veggies. So if one of your goals is to eat a little bit healthier, this is a great way to get some of these veggies that you normally wouldn't eat into your diet, okay? So I cannot pronounce what this recipe is called. It's like Orecchiette or something. I have no idea. So basically it means a little pasta that looks like an ear. So we're going to be using, where did I put it? We're going to be using some of these shells today. So looks like it's a little bit healthier too because it's made out of chickpeas. So you can use regular shells or you can buy the fancy pants ones or whatever. But basically it's this little pasta made with Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and peas, okay? So I have things rolling here. So I have the pasta already cooking. You just want to cook it for about a minute less than what the package has, and I have to make sure that I pay attention to that because I have been known to let them stick before, and we don't want that to happen, okay? So we've got our stuff cooking, and now we have to slice up our vegetables. So first things first, we have to take our garlic. Now it says to peel it, okay? So this is not peeled yet, and like many of you have never even seen me do this before because I usually just put it through the garlic press and we're good to go. So this is our garlic peeler. You just kind of stick it in there. It looks like one of those Chinese finger things, right? So you just kind of stick it right inside there and just pop that off. Did you see that? The skin just like fell right off of that. It's kind of satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I've got two other pieces here. So your fingers are not gonna be stinkeroo. You know what that's like, right? Actually, I think that this skin just kind of peeled off, but let me just give it a roll here. Just pops right out the end. So very, very easy, right? So next thing that we're gonna do is use the Rapid Prep mandolin, okay? So this is the Rapid Prep mandolin. So perhaps you'd seen the one that we had a long time ago. It has been redesigned. So this thing is pretty fancy pants, all right? So it has this food holder here. And guys, anything from our line, if it is sharp, it has a safety feature on there, so you shouldn't cut yourself. We don't like blood when we're cooking. It's a real showstopper, right? So it just has this food holder that fits right on the top there. This is a two-handed gig. And then on the back, it's got a couple dials. So you can chop, dice, slice, anything that you want with this thing. You can even make your French fries. Easy peasy, okay? So it just fits this thing right underneath here. So we're gonna set this to dial number 1. Turning the wrong way here. And let me make sure. Okay, so we've got it set to number 1. We're gonna pop the garlic right inside there, and it's gonna shoot right into here. So I already have some. Look how easy that is. And you can take off your aggressions, okay? So I have some of our garlic. I'm just gonna pull it out of here. I already tested this with the Brussels sprouts just to make sure everything's gonna be cool with that. So I think I need to pull these out because I didn't read ahead on the instructions, okay? Oh, actually, I guess it all can stay in there. I guess I should have told you that. Okay, so let me give this another spin here. I'm telling you what, and I was trying to read the instructions, and you just never know how it's going to be. Okay, so we're just about done on the pasta. So we sliced up the garlic here, and now we're going to slice up our Brussels sprouts and broccoli that I've already trimmed up. So if you have never eaten Brussels sprouts, I have to tell you, I don't think I was had ever been exposed to these when I was growing up. Perhaps my parents don't like them or whatever, but they looked funny because they're these little cabbage things. So they look like little heads of cabbage. And I just learned for the first time the other day that they actually grow on a long stalk. And they just kind of pop, pop, just like that. And they're super duper cute. I never even saw them like that at the grocery store before. I usually just buy them in the bag. Okay, so when you are purchasing them, unless you grow them yourself, you want to make sure that you're getting ones that are bright green and the leaves are tight. Okay, so remember when I tell you to get garlic, you want it to be white and tight, just like men's underwear. These are green and tight. Okay, so a couple quick things with Brussels sprouts. If you're going to be cooking them normally, a quick way that you can do this is if you score like a little bit of an X on the bottom of the stem. So when you do that, it's going to allow the heat to get into the stem and it's going to cook it more evenly. So all of them are going to cook basically at the same rate then. So when you're buying them too, make sure that they're all about the same size because it's just going to be more convenient for you. So before you go to cook them, tear off the loose stems. All right, we're just going to put the food holder in here. Okay, I've got the oil all ready to go. Let me just dump out this pasta real quick. I'm going to reserve about 1/4 cup of the water. Oh man, I should have had a thing ready to go. I totally don't. So let me pull this out here. Don't look in my cupboards, right? Okay, let me dump this. Grab some of the water to go along with it because we're going to save that pasta water. About 4 tablespoons is 1/4 cup, so I'm just going to save some of this. All right. Dump out the rest. Okay. So we've got this step done. Okay, so the pasta is finished. That's one thing off my mind, right? So let's just slice. Oops, these have to be on number 6. So after you go from the 1, we're just going to change it to the setting 6 then. And just slice it away. So there. We have a splash zone. I always say sometimes in my parties, I have like a little old lady who always sits in the very front, and when I'm doing Parmesan cheese, she always gets shot. It never fails. So I'm just going to slice all these up. This is so much easier than doing it by hand. So think about all the things that you would be doing for your salads or different prep like this that you can throw right inside this wrapping paper and make it very easy peasy. Okay. So we've got that. I'm just going to get ready for the thing here. So now I'm going to, oh, actually I was supposed to put the garlic in. Oops, missed that step. So we're just going to throw everything right in together. I'm telling you what. I can't even see this. I feel like I'm going to need bifocals soon. We're right on the edge. Okay, so let me just push the rest of these in here. I've got the stainless non-stick skillet going on here. Got some oil heating up. So I've got about 1/4 cup of oil that is ready to go. I'm going to throw the vegetables in here. Let me do the broccoli really quick. And then we're going to talk about benefits of Brussels sprouts, because that is like my theme tonight. So if you have never had them before, let me just talk about some, or maybe you have, let me just talk about some of these health benefits that you get. So the broccoli is going in here now. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing as what we did with the other thing. I just trimmed the ends off. How much easier is this than doing by hand, right? So, shove on down. So Brussels sprouts, they are high in antioxidants, low in calories, high in fiber. It is great for snacking. It's going to keep your blood sugar level in check. Also high in vitamin C. So perhaps you're missing some of the sun. That is a great way to stock yourself up. Not quite the same as being at the beach, but you know, you do what you can do. So if you have made them before and you're like, oh my gosh, they smell totally stinkeroo when they're cooking, here is a fun tip for you. So if you put some big chunks of bread in with it while it's cooking, it is actually going to make it not as stinky. It also works with bell peppers. Just put big chunks in there, okay? So I'm just going to stir this up a little bit. I'm going to put some red pepper flakes in a minute. So when you look at this recipe and you're like, oh my gosh, you didn't follow the instructions, I did not. It is a loose following. It also calls for some lemon juice that I'm going to totally skip. Totally fine, okay? I have some health versions that would not work well. So if you have some acid reflux and stuff like that going on, feel free to edit this recipe to fit your needs, right? So we're just going to dump this right on top as well. I love that it has that little catcher for everything. Okay, so we have this. Just going to kind of let this cook here, give it a spin every now and then. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. So I've got the bell pepper herb. This stuff is so amazing. If you've never had this works great as a dip. I also love it on my chicken. It's going to give a great flavor to this dish as well. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle some right in there. That was supposed to go in the first step. Totally missed all of that, okay? But that's how this works, all right? So we are going to just cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes, just like this. So I already have it on a temperature that works, so I don't need to worry about that. And then all I am going to do next is just put this extra pasta and the pasta water right into this dish and pour in some cheese. So while this is cooking, let me just set my time here for about 5 minutes. Just going to keep checking on this, stirring things, make sure it's all good to go. It is a super green dish. So if it's green, it's healthy, right? So we're going to get that rolling. But I also wanted to talk to you about this pan that I'm using. Okay, so have you seen the stainless nonstick pan? My goodness, it is fantastic. So I've got this skillet here for you to see, and it's got this, I don't know what you want to call it. It's not really like a coating, but it's got this hexagon type design that's inside here. So perhaps you've heard me say before that with my opinion, if you're going to be cooking in stainless steel, you need to have two things, attention and skill. And I don't have either of those. So when these pans came out, I'm like, oh my word, now I have to figure out how to do these, because you have to like pay attention as things are cooking and make sure that it's not sticking and all that fun stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you that this is not true, okay? So it is with normal stainless steel, but these stainless non-stick pieces are fantastic because they bring all of the best things of stainless and non-stick together, so you don't have to pay attention all the time. Look at this, I'm not even like watching, right? And you're going to get all of the best benefits of the stainless with that delightful fond, you know, those little bits, pieces of awesomeness that stick to your pan from your proteins, and it's going to give the great flavor, but it's even dishwasher safe, very easy to clean, and you're going to be like, ah! Okay? So let me give this another spin here. So this is coming along nicely. It smells pretty good. And guys, I would probably even put a bell pepper in here. You know, I think that a red one would taste delightful with it. Sometimes I like to mix up my color variation. But this is a great way, especially with the Brussels sprouts, to slip them in if you've got picky eaters in your house. Okay, so I would add extra vegetables too, just to give it that little extra thing. So let me get this out of the way here. I feel like I'm making a huge mess, so don't judge me here. All right, just gonna get these leftover pieces out of here. Let me see. Okay. So think about what you could be using with this rapid prep mandolin. Oh my word. So you can, like I said, you can be slicing all of your veggies with this. You can put it on all of these different settings. It is very easy. It just pops right apart. So this part just comes right off, and then it actually sticks a little bit to the counter too, so you don't have to worry about it like moving around while you're doing things. This folds, and then it stores right on top of that container. So you're like, my word, that is so easy peasy, right? So this is just about done here. I'm just going to move things along a little bit quicker. Okay, so now we have our leftover water and our pasta. So let me dump this right on top here. Let me just make sure I'm doing the right thing. Okay. So there's the pasta. Mix that in. This is where you would also put lemon juice if you had some. Okay, so I'm just going to stir that right on top. Listen to that sizzle. So if you zested the lemon, you can throw the zest in, the lemon juice. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just going to keep it simple just like this. And that way we don't have that little extra tang. And now I've got some peas that I'm going to throw in. So we're just going to put that right on top there. I've got about a cup of peas or something like that. I'm not measuring them. Just going to use what's left in my freezer. I'm curious if anybody does one of those challenges where you just eat everything that you have in the house. So that's kind of what's going on here. Those Brussels sprouts I just purchased, but then I figured out that I had a whole bunch of them already in my freezer. So they store for about a week in your fridge, but you can freeze them too. Honestly, I really enjoyed being able to eat the ones that were in the freezer. They were very, very easy. So I'm just going to cook this. Those peas aren't going to take very long at all. And then the best part, because every recipe is better with cheese, right? So I have some freshly grated Parmesan cheese here. And look at this. So I shredded this myself. Guys, if you're not shredding your own cheese, you need to be doing that because this is so much healthier. I just get the wedge, and I actually shredded this by hand with our fine grater, but usually I just throw it right in the cooking blender, pulse it for about 30 seconds, and it is perfect. So you're not getting all those like declumpers and stuff that you get in the shaker bottles. It's no preservatives, any of that stuff. It's just going to be cheese. Go figure, right? So let me just double check on this. I'm going to show you how it looks. And I am ready to eat. So let me just sprinkle a little bit of cheese on here. This is all, well, mostly done. The peas are still doing their thing. Whatever. I feel like they usually just cook with the heat of everything else. So let me just sprinkle some cheese on. It says about an ounce, but if you're like me, you measure cheese, chocolate, and garlic with your heart. So we'll just throw some of that on. If you want extra for garnish, you can totally do that. Just going to sprinkle some more through here. And let me show you how this turned out. Check this out. So it is a delightful, healthy meal. Only 8 ounces of pasta. So if you have a box of the macaroni in your cupboard and you're like, I want to give that a shot, mix a couple vegetables together, change it up, and enjoy it, right? So with that, I'm going to sign off, clean up my big mess here because I was shooting things all over the place. So you guys have a great day. I'll catch up with you on the next one. Bye.